There are things on the World Wide Web which confuse us and make us angry, but somehow we all get through it and we all persevere, and then we somehow make our way into the gentle world that we like to call heavenly album covers. And this is Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band. This is a double album, and we have not ever covered this full album and album cover here at Heavenly Album Covers ever, and mostly that's because we have not had a full-size album version of this album for years, maybe decades, and now we do have an actual vinyl copy in a big double sleeve with a cover and an insert. And this is Trout Mask Replica, and we are going to look at it pretty much silently. We're not going to say much about it because everything about it has already been analyzed and completely collated. So this is a book. On the way out here to the Heavenly Studio, I came across this book by Richard Brautigan, and I only grabbed it because it has the word trout in the title. This is called Trout Fishing in America. It's a cute little book. Came out in 1967 to great acclaim. Richard Brautigan was a whimsical and deeply philosophical writer. His life ended tragically, but before he passed away, he wrote a lot of great books, including Trout Fishing in America. Highly recommended. Also, on the way out here to the Heavenly Video Studio, I grabbed this book by Jay Johnson. This book is called Miss Thing. It's a very highly influential book on several levels. It's a very influential book, and this copy is signed by Jay Johnson. Up here in the corner, you should look up Miss Thing and Jay Johnson, because Jay Johnson was very influential and a highly influential comic artist. And this is called Miss Thing, and it's a little paperback I picked up a while ago, and it's signed, and it's a beautiful little cartoon book. So this is Trout Mask Replica, and it's basically impossible to describe or to even talk about Trout Mask Replica. It's kind of like trying to explain the Grand Canyon out there in the Midwest, and so it's a very interesting album cover. Here is Captain Beefheart. You can see his goatee under here. You can see partial facial things going on here. Captain Beefheart is wearing this long green, it's like a tunic or a trench coat, and it has some sort of either animal fur or shag carpeting on it. And there are many pictures of Captain Beefheart wearing this green overcoat. And here, behind this real live fish head, is Captain Beefheart somewhere back here. Captain Beefheart is holding his hand up, kind of a salute. It's kind of a funny gesture with his hand here. And apparently this is not a trout face, it's a carp, C-A-R-P. This is a carp head, and I'm not sure what drove Captain Beefheart to make this album cover like this. This album cover was designed and photographed by Cal Schenkel. Cal Schenkel was, and still might be, I'm not sure if he's still around, a very influential album cover designer. He worked with Frank Zappa and other artists. And this is Captain Beefheart behind this strange fish head. And Beefheart is wearing this kind of a top hat, but the top hat is sliced off. The front part of the top hat is sliced off, and he's got a badminton birdie stuck at the top of the hat. So all in all, this is a very interesting cover, very odd. As far as I know, this basic cover has never changed from version to version. I do not believe that there has been another cover for Trout Mask Replica. I think this is it. If you buy a copy of Trout Mask Replica, whether it's a album or a CD, a cassette, it always has this cover on it. It's fascinating. I don't believe I've ever seen an alternate cover for Trout Mask Replica. There might be international versions that are slightly different, but this is the real deal. This is the actual cover. When you think Trout Mask Replica, you think of this strange cover, and it is a strange cover. And this particular version is on Third Man Records. It's like a standard version. It's on heavy. The cover itself is just heavy. It's like a bulletproof, and it's got a huge spine here. I'll put the light up here. It's got a nice hefty spine. The album construction is just incredible. It's so heavy. This thing must weigh about 3/4 of a pound. It comes with the standard insert, and there is the young Don Van Vliet, Captain Beefheart. He's on the cover of this little lyric insert, and here are all the lyrics. It's a beautiful reproduction of the original insert. The original insert was on kind of shiny, flimsy cardstock, and this is like a greeting card cardstock. And there's a little poem written by Don Van Vliet, some drawings by other people. The lyrics are just vast and very thorough, and it's really nice to have these all in one place. And let's look at the backside. We have Captain Beefheart and his magic band. They're not just the magic band, they are Captain Beefheart and his magic band. And here is Captain Beefheart. He has like the frame of a lamp. He's kind of using it as a like a dowsing rod or some kind of antenna or something. And the group is out here on a bridge. There's a person down here, one of the members of the group. This album was produced by Frank Zappa, and this is on Bizarre Third Man Records. Third Man Records also put out kind of a box set of this particular album, and it came with some strange items. It came with a tote bag. It came with a trout mask, a Halloween mask, and it came with a very oddly written little ode, a little poem by Jack White to Captain Beefheart. And but this is just straight away just the album. It's beautiful. And here's the psychedelic inner gatefold. We have some liner notes here. Here's all the song titles. The photography on this album was by Ed Caraeff and Cal Schenkel, and Ed Caraeff did album covers for Three Dog Night and for Elton John, and so it was a very prestigious job to be taking photographs for Captain Beefheart. And this album itself was it was rehearsed for weeks and months, and then finally the group, Frank Zappa got the group into a studio called Whitney Studios in Glendale, and they recorded about around 1968 and 69, and Captain Beefheart and his magic band were at the same studio. They were at the same studio as the Braillettes. The Braillettes were working in Whitney Studio around 68 and 69. So I have this theory that that Captain Beefheart and the Braillettes used to like share a Coke. They would bump into each other in the hallway at Whitney Studio, and they would talk to each other and share ideas, because they were literally in the same studio setting at the same time, about late 1968 and 69. So those are the Braillettes. This album is hard to find also. It's one of my prized possessions here at Heavenly Album Covers. And so let's look. Oh, there's the actual vinyl. The Third Man Bizarre logo is pretty nice. It's pretty straightforward. Nothing wrong about that. It has the Bizarre imprint there, and the Third Man Tower of Electricity. And we have yet to put this on the Heavenly turntable, but it's likely to sound really great. The vinyl seems really heavy, and so let's see if there's anything else inside here. I think that's it. There are some kind of solarized images of the band here, and it's very of the time, very psychedelic, and it really makes the album pop, and it makes it even more wonderful than it actually is. And this is Trout Mask Replica, and it is Trout Mask Replica. And I can just imagine the Braillettes. They had just finished recording a few songs, and they went down the hallway, and there was Captain Beefheart there, and they spoke with each other, and they traded touring stories, and it must have been great to be at Whitney Studios in that time frame.